So I started reading all the books. I started studying the masters. My master plan was to find out what they did and start doing that. First thing I read was 7 Habits, Stephen Covey. Dr. Covey in that book says you can live out of your imagination rather than your past. And that was a huge deal for me because my past was pretty bleak and dark and violent. But my future, I had a wild imagination. And so I believed that, and I began, focusing on what I could do with my life. I realized that all the insanity in my brain was getting out of my brain and showing up in my life. Friedrich Nietzsche said, we attract that which we fear. Job in the Bible says, that which I have feared has come upon me. Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning, says, fear may come true. So I kept reading these quotes and these books, and everybody's saying the craziness, the fearful stuff in your brain can get out. And I realized one day, what did I fear the most? I feared living and dying in the penitentiary, never knowing my son, being broke and homeless the rest of my life. And I had attracted that scenario into my life. So I realized I gotta change what I think about. I gotta think about what I think about before I think about it, if that makes any sense.
Makes perfect sense. Say it again.
I had to learn to think about what I think about before I think about it. I changed the way I think. I wrote down what a perfect life for me would look like. I tore out the sheet of paper from the notebook. I stuck toothpaste in the back of it and stuck it on the wall of my cell. And there it sat for the next 7 years. For 7 years, I'd meditate in that list, visualize it, imagine that life was mine. And little by little, back then, I didn't know the neurology behind it, but I was changing the neural connectors in my brain. 7 years later, I walked out, and I was on a path that was so carved out for me. I was so committed to it. It was like my DNA had changed.